Hey, what's going on, beautiful people out there in YouTube world? It's your boy, the Bad Wolf. All right, so gonna drop some more knowledge on you by request. And so here's what we have today. All right, so this is going to be foreign nationals driving in the United States. All right, so as you can see behind me, huzzah, this is that. So if you want to follow along or you want to find out for yourself, um, Google foreign nationals driving in the United States, GOV. Okay, that'll pull up this. It'll take you to usa.gov/visitors driving, something like that. Okay, let's get on it. Okay, so it says here people who drive in the United States, the US, must have a valid driver's license. If you are a foreign visitor, some states require you to have an international driving permit and a valid license from your own country. Contact your motor, vehicle department. Okay, and then it goes into saying like short-term visitors, you need to get your international driver's permit, blah 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 blah. If you want to rent a car, obviously. The next part goes on to talk about residents, and then it goes non-U.S. citizens. Okay, the residency requirement for obtaining a U.S. driver's license is different in each state, and so forth and so on. Okay, a lot of people have asked about the whole U.S. national, and if you notice, they didn't talk about that exactly. They said foreign. So what is foreign nationals driving in the U.S.? There's a lot of things going on here, and this information is correct, but you have to learn how to read it, okay, by law. This is what they do. This is what you have to learn. So a foreign national, that basically means that you are outside of their or a specific jurisdiction. Okay, so you are outside of the U.S. Well, what is the U.S.? Where does the U.S. actually exist? Okay, the definition of the U.S. or the United States is the 10 by 10 square mile area, which is Washington, D.C. That is where they are registered. The United States is registered in Washington, D.C. Okay, so what they're talking about right there, now how you interpret it, if you go and get a driver's license and do all these things, you did that of your own free will and accord, okay? Because you read the information wrong. They just don't have to correct you, okay? So that means you live outside of the United States, okay? So you're in your state. Now, your state has a federal office, which is that DMV, okay? So they're operating in your state. Okay, your state is whatever state you live in. So a foreign national means that you are not in their jurisdiction, but you want to drive in their jurisdiction or drive carrying their jurisdiction around you. Okay, that's what it's saying. Okay, so that being said, there's a lot going on here. So as a U.S. national, okay, or a state citizen, if you're on the if you decide to live on the private side or at least access your private side, there's a specific way you have to do this so that you can drive privately. Anything else is public. Okay. Now here's the thing. They are also using the word driving. Okay. The word drive and driving is commercial. It means you're using your vehicle for commercial purposes. Look up the definition of drive or driving in Black Law's Dictionary if you want the definition of it. It tells exactly what it is. What is a driver? What is the meaning of driver or driving, to drive? So they're saying, are you from an outside area, but a national to the area who is driving, utilizing your vehicle for commerce in the United States, which is their jurisdiction? Now, I know some of you are out there like, well, but it's all the United States. No, it's all of the United States of America, the Republic for which it stands. Okay, but the actual term, the United States, is owned privately by Washington, D.C. That whole area is the United States. Okay, so that's what's going on here. So as a private national, U.S. national or state citizen, you are allowed to drive, or excuse me, travel privately in your vehicle. It's a consumer good. It's property you own, but it has to be done the right way. Okay, you can't just print off this paper, and which doesn't help you, by the way, but and then go, hey, look, I downloaded something on the internet, I can just do this now. It's not how it works. Okay, because you're still in their jurisdiction. All right. Typically, you're always going to belong in somebody's jurisdiction. That's how they have it set up, because you're on someone's property. Either you're in your state physically, or you're carrying around in the physical or the non-physical, invisible jurisdiction of federal citizenship, or as a federal employee around you, and hence you're operating in their jurisdiction. That's how all this goes. For me, forming my house into its own private micronation, that's one jurisdiction that I'm in, that I'm the owner, king, emperor, whatever, of. And then also as a private, I'm a citizen of the several states as a state citizen or as a U.S. national. Okay. For that state doesn't issue driver's license because you have the sovereign freedom to not have one. But if you reside, we'll just use Wisconsin, if you reside in the state of Wisconsin for more than 6 months, you are required as a resident to have a driver's license and basically contract as being a federal employee or of their state. You just do. So whatever state you have, it's the same way across the board, because that's how they make that cheddar. All right. If your perception is that you own your house or you live in your apartment, but you're not a resident, okay, that is by definition, however you describe something is what it is. Okay, these people are the masters of definition. They have the UCC book and the Black Laws Dictionary. You have to use these terms against them. They're their terms, and by definition, a lot of you people don't even know what the definition of person is. You know what I mean? Or like I said, drive, or whatever else, residence, reside. Look up these things and see what the actual definition is of. You'll be surprised. Like I said, the IRS calls us non-resident aliens. Look up these terms, people. Find out what they mean. All right, that's how they're able to get over on you. They hold power over you if you're in their jurisdiction. If you have even as a U.S. national, there's technically a jurisdiction, because we're underneath the jurisdiction of either your specific state or the several states, depending on how you want to do it. Okay, so if you're underneath the jurisdiction of several states as a sovereign person, a lot of these things don't apply to you. But if you don't know that little section is there to exist in, then you're just going to assume, like everybody else, you're in these other jurisdictions. Or maybe you are because you're already living in them, or you continue to live in them. All right. So they're saying that you need a driver's license, and they're right. You do, if you fit those terms. Like here in our state, if you reside here within the state, well, one, I form my own micronation, so I don't reside in your state. But if you want to look at it and say, okay, well, this and that, for argumentative sake, blah, 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 you reside. They're saying you reside here. I don't reside here. I own this property, and I travel to and fro. So I don't reside there. It's my abode. It's not my residence. It's my abode. It's my property. Okay? So it's by classification. Some people are like, oh, that's semantics and this and that. By legal definition, whatever something is declared as, now you can say water's wet, or I can say it's moist. Who's right? Let's look up the definitions of such. It can be either. Good. Then you, in your jurisdiction, that's how you believe your water is wet. I believe mine is moist. That's just how it goes. Okay? And if I'm not saying that I live in your jurisdiction, like for instance, this all boils down because you're claiming that you are a U.S. citizen. Look up the definition of what a U.S. citizen is. Look up the 14th Amendment. Okay? Do your research. That's why it's amazing. And some of my friends on Facebook don't think I study and learn these things, or what they call conspiracy theories. Ooh. And the whole thing is, almost any of this, if you do the research and you look at the pictures, you pull files, you contact the GOV, get their files on this stuff, the truth is there. They just aren't going to come out and say it because it's not their job for them to come out and say it. It's not. You people think that they're supposed to protect us and provide for it. No. Their job is to make sure the system runs. What you do with your time and what you learn is you and yours. Because here's the thing, even though most people are US citizens and you're their property, if you're their property, they don't have to tell you what's really going on because you're their property. You're not on their level. Okay? If you are a US national or an American who has sovereign abilities, you're then a king. If you're a king, you run your own country. You find out for yourself and you take care of those to your side or beneath you. They don't have to communicate anything with you. So either way, doing the research is still on you. The problem is they don't like the fact that people who are like on top with great influence over masses of people, millions of people, for them to put all the information, especially with proof. That's why with me, I provide you information, but I ask you to do the research. I'm only providing you that there's a path there. I'm not showing you the exact what's at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean? So that way they're cool with me. I'm cool with them. I'm my own king doing my thing. If you want to, learn about this, you watch it, you do your own research. But anyway, so I digress. So they know about different statuses, people from different countries. And I challenge you with this. So if somebody from another country came here or another foreign state, and whether they had a license or not, as long as they know how to operate their vehicle while in any state, they're legal to do so, unless they start to reside within a state for more than 6 months and claim that, then they have to get a driver's license. Okay? But if the roads are public, which they all are, almost all of them, except for some freeways and some private, like little roads or toll roads or whatever, you're able to go wherever you want as long as you're doing it in the right fashion. Okay, you have the proper ID or information, or you can prove it. You have to be able to back up whatever you're saying. So that's it, guys. Just bringing you guys a little bit of information on something that somebody asked me about foreign nationals. Can they drive in the United States? Well, that depends on your definition. What is this guy? What's the guy? The old guy's name is something McDonald. Look up him in citizenship, and he says the same thing. He goes, what is your definition of the United States? What is your definition of citizen or U.S. citizen? The proof is in the pudding, people. Once you start breaking down these terms and figuring out where you are, who you are, and where your allegiance and jurisdiction lies, suddenly you start knowing what's really going on around you. And by all means, don't get it wrong or twisted. There's nothing wrong with being a U.S. citizen at all. At all. If that's what works for you. Just know that there's other options for those people who do the research to know who and what they have access to and want more or different things from life. All right. So with everything, do your own research, people. The Bad Wolf thanks you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay knowledgeable. Stay woke. Appreciate all the people. And I'm going to say this too. I'm not saying that the GOV is all bad. I'm not saying that they're all bad people. So don't misunderstand that. They're wonderful people. A lot of them are my friends. A lot of them give me this inside information. They're doing a hard job to actually try to protect us and to try to change it from the inside. So there are tons of people, much like anything, even with Freemasonry, people that watch and read and hear all this weird and bad stuff. I'm here to tell you that is a lie. But I'm also here to tell you the truth. There are, just like in the government and whatever else, any fraternity, anything in the world, where there are people, there's room for corruption, evil, and darkness. But the fact that none of these institutions and groups are actively out there, like on TV, showing you who they are and this is what they do, that tells you that there are more good than bad out there, because more people have good hearts than bad. So don't believe that it's all just doom and gloom, because it's not. All right? There, like I said, for the 10%, 15% that are out there that are doing that, there's 90, 85 doing better and maintaining things, okay? That's just what it is. That's the game. That's afoot. All right, so I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your families. Get out there and make that money. Stay out of trouble if at all possible, especially, those people who become U.S. nationals. Don't go out there waving a flag to, be bothered and whatever. Get yours. Help those people out there who want to be helped. Those people aren't ready for this information. Let them be. Let them do their thing. Not everybody, and this was my determination today after dealing with some of my friends on Facebook and them trying to argue on some old stuff about, you know, planes crashing into certain other things and whatever else, who feel a certain kind of way, who've never done any research on it and just were told things, who've been conditioned by the GOV and whatever parties, or I've had friends who heard stuff from across the street but really weren't there. Anyway, not everybody in this lifetime, if you believe in reincarnation or whatever else, are supposed to be woke or get woke or woked. Okay? So present a little bit of information on your own, do your own research to be able to back up and validate what you're saying with hard evidence, but don't expect everybody to wake up. They're not ready for it. Just like in the Matrix, Morpheus woke up Neo, but people around them, if you're not a part of, you know, what we got going on, then you could be considered neutral, but you might be a potential enemy. All right. So that being said, not everybody's ready for it. Let them find it on their own. Leave a little breadcrumb, and let it be. All right. So take care of yourselves. Don't forget to hit that bell, like, subscribe. Support the channel if you can. Check out the notifications and offers and things down below. If they're not there, go to the main About Me section and on the YouTube main page for this channel. Plenty more information there. Talk to you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.